Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video where today we are looking at a core that used to be the most common core in the entire game. A core that dominated for seasons. And that core is Trevenant and Walrein. The Trevenant Walrein core covered each other so well in a meta where there was a lot of Noctowl and a lot of Lantern. Trevenant hard beats the Lantern. Walrein hard beats the Noctowl. They covered a lot of each other's weaknesses, and there wasn't a whole lot of things that could cover them both. You had your obscure core breakers, such as Obstagoon, maybe Lickitung, kind of a core breaker, but even Walrein can hold its own. So the Trevenant Walrein core, once upon a time the most dominant core in the game, does it still work? That's what we're here to find out today. King Swag submitted these battles. I specifically remember King Swag submitting battles. We featured him on the channel. And he made fun of me saying, calling him King Swag. And I was like, oh, like, what is it? And he's like, no, that's fine. So have you ever had that interaction where someone, like, maybe you mispronounced their name and then you're like, oh, how do I say it correctly? And they're like, it's fine. Like, bro, don't tell me it's fine. I want to know how to say it correctly. Anyway, we're off on a tangent within the first minute, 20 seconds of the video. It's time to end that because Walrein is battling the Lickitung. He led the Trevenant into the Walrein. Walrein stays in against Lickitung. Seems like they're weak to Walrein in the back if they're staying in here. And Lickitung might be their best answer. All shields have already been used on King Swag's side. Does get the farm down. That's pretty massive. Let's see what comes in. Oh my gosh, Trev comes in? Maybe it's like a Gligar in the back? Trevenant is not going to have a fun time here. Icicle Spear, boom, big damage. Gets off the second Icicle Spear right away. Does the opponent shield? They do. Do you catch the Seed Bomb? Beautiful catch. Opponent's kind of forced to throw, so I like the play here. Catches the Seed Bomb, and what's in back? It is a Gligar like we thought. Rise, how'd you know it was a Gligar? Well, if you're coming in Trev against a Walrein, it's probably something weak to Walrein in the back. What's one of the most weak things to Walrein right now in the meta? Gligar. And Gligar is going to try and fight its way back here. The problem is Lickitung is so bulky, it's going to be able to live that dig, no problem. Aerial Ace might be enough, but Lickitung might hang on. Let's see. No, does KO, but still has enough health on Walrein that you're not going to get Wing Attack down. You're going to get to an Icicle Spear, and this, of course, will knock out the Gligar. Trev comes in for the close, and that is a G to the G. Trev got a little bit of action at the end right there. Got to take most of the battle off. And I'm sure at this point in the video, you've noticed the names on the team graphic. Once again, nicknames were provided with these Pokemon, so we have gone with the nicknames. Let me know in the comments. Do you not like the nicknames? Do you think it's a funny touch? I think it's kind of fun, but one concern I do have is for people watching the videos who maybe English is their second language and then they're confused about the names. I don't know. Maybe that's just an over concern, but I want to make sure everyone likes it. I mean, everyone's not going to like anything, right? But you know what I mean. Trev led into the Basti, now is baiting the Venusaur. This is such a risky bait. C-Bomb bait gets the shield. There we go. Very nicely done. Going to put up a shield. That's already the second shield, right? Basti threw a move. Yeah, Basti threw a move. So this is kind of weird. Trev, or Trevor, or Trevon, gets the shield. Swap into Licky. Preserves the Trevenant for later. I kind of like the Licky swap because Licky's going to really struggle against Bastiodon anyways. So you might as well kind of sack it here against the Venusaur. I would not be shocked to see Bastiodon come in here and makes the catch on the Body Slam. Don't think they were going to reach Power Whip anyway, so not the worst thing in the world. It looks like a catch, but really you had to throw it anyway. Going to reach the Shadow Ball. I think Shadow Ball should knock out from this range, despite how bulky the Bastiodon is. Shadow Ball connects, does indeed knock out, and it's Victory Bell and back. You just need to live these Razor Leafs and get to the Icicle Spear, and a non-Shadow Walrein is going to benefit from the extra bulk. Knocks out the Victory Bell. Should be able to farm down the Venusaur. Does it just in time. I'm pretty sure Venusaur was on its 5 cycle, so that literally, that last Powder Snow knocked out just in time as Venusaur was reaching its 5th Vine Whip for the Frenzy Plant. G to the G. Here is King Swag, as we call him. Next opponent, Trev into Swampert. Amazing lead. So we assume the opponent is going to swap out of here, which they do, into Charge Bug. Now, could go immediately Lickitung, but you do run the risk of Lickitung losing the 2-shield scenario against Charge Bug. So going to do some chip damage and then go Lickitung, just to really try and secure this matchup. The thing is, even if you like swapped Licky and then you lost Switch, you'd probably get a shield advantage, and Walrein does pretty well against Swampert as well. The Sims might tell you Swampert wins. I don't know if it still does since the Earthquake nerf, but I consider Walrein a pretty positive matchup against Swampert. This Charge Bug spamming off moves, as it likes to do. Going to... Ooh, gets a little bit greedy. Maybe would have been better off throwing the Body Slam there. But you can shield up, you can lick down, and if Swampert comes in, you're definitely getting the shield back. Or do they just sack it? I mean, they know there's a Trev waiting for it. Do they just completely sacrifice their Swampert here? No, they shield it. They're going to go for a big Mud Shot down? No. They settle for the Hydro. Trev has energy. You got to think the opponent is expecting you to throw, so they might swap out right away. But they don't. They stay in. Crazy. Seed Bomb grabs the shield, and it's their own Trevenant back. And this should be pretty smooth sailing. Because this is a non-shadow Walrein, it's not going to be threatened to get knocked out by anything coming from Trev here. Seed Bomb might have been enough to knock out a shadow Walrein, but it would have been close from a shadow Walrein. From a non-shadow, not very close, withstands it easily. The opponent knows there's no win con remaining, and that is a G to the G. Kind of a scary outfit by King Swag. He's like a ghost and also a dragon. I don't know what's going on there. It's in there is the opponent. Another great lead for Trev. Trev doing its thing. Going to... looks like the opponent will do a Psycho Boost and dip. Common strategy with Deoxys. They swap into Umbreon. Now, King Swag is ABA weak to Umbreon. Doesn't really have a hard punish. So is forced to come in with Walrein here, which is more of a neutral answer. The one positive is both Licky and Trev have positive matchups against DD. Ideally, you'd like to keep your Trevenant aligned with it, since it's a pretty dominant matchup. But Licky does fine against DD. Because DD... This is kind of advanced, but although it's a very bulky Pokemon, it has like an incredibly high defense stat. It has quite a low HP stat. It has pretty minimal HP. So the licks from Lickitung being super effective just really chunk at DD's health. All one-turn moves chunk pretty well against a Deoxys defense. We see a Icicle Spear coming through. And has tons of energy stored on this Trev. Going for the Seed Bomb bait. Kind of bold here. Seed Bomb bait. Grabs a shield. Gonna shield up the Psycho Boost to preserve this energy you have on the Trev. And gonna overfarm here. I like it. I think DD threw right away, right? So could have overfarmed a little more, but that's fine. Grabs another shield. And this is a charge move priority here. Seed Bomb should be enough to knock out Deoxys. Knocks it out. All that remains is a poor little Lantern. And Lantern could have taken out the Trev if it wanted, but wasn't going to be able to take out the Trev and the Lickitung that was lurking in the back. So opponent was out of there. G to the G. Back to the Deoxys low HP thing. One kind of interesting thing is I bet Deoxys is just straight up bulkier than Guzzlord. That's what I was about to talk about. Oh, Guzzlord's actually really bad here. You're ABA weak to it, so you have to come in with Licky, which is not a very good matchup. But it's more of a soft loss compared to the hard loss from Trev. But I was going to say Guzzlord doesn't have a very high defense, but it has an incredibly high HP, oftentimes like 260 plus HP in the Great League. So one turn lock-on, since lock-ons only do 1 damage, lock-ons do like nothing to Guzzlord. However, against DD, which typically has like 90 HP, I want to say, the lock-ons actually like kind of chunk. Like the lock-ons, you're definitely noticing adding up over time. Like the Registeel matchup, for example. Lock-ons do nothing Nada to this Guzzlord. You can barely see them happening. And Guzzlord is going to try and chip away at this Walrein. Walrein does get a nice little farm down. In comes Lantern. So I think the only hope is... Oh, gosh, there is no hope. This is the ancient matchup. Back in my day, we used to have Noctowl, Trevenant meta. And, yeah, this is just not going to happen. King Swag looks like he might try and play this out. Hope the opponent, like, lets an Earthquake go through or something on Lantern. But honestly, Lantern's not even in Earthquake range. I don't know if you even get to an Earthquake after taking out the Noctowl here. The Sparks are probably going to KO first. Don't shield it, King okay, you know, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Never give up, never surrender. Going to shield up here and just hope they no shield for some reason. Go for the EQ. And even if they do no shield, they're still going to live it, unfortunately. Walrus into... Yeah, they no shield it and they still live it. GG. Not a whole lot he could have done to win that match there. And next opponent, here we go. Trev into Dragonite. Not very good for Trev just because the Dragon Breaths are so oppressive here. Oh, it's running Dragon Tail. Wow. Dragon Tail you don't see too often from Dragonite. But Lickitung, they don't seem to have an obvious answer to, so they're staying in. They shield up their Dragonite. Gotta respect the potential superpower here. Superpower does come through, but gets shielded. In comes the Diggersby. Diggersby a little bit of a core breaker as well, being good against both Trevenant and Lickitung. Scorching Sands, no debuff is kind of nice. The problem is because of all that Dragon Breath chip damage, the next Scorching Sands should threaten to knock out this Lickitung. So I think you have to let this go. And probably come in with Walrein. Because you're going to have a tough time getting rid of Mr. Diggersby. Going to eat a move, maybe in exchange for building up extra energy on Walrein. The thing is, if they're ABA weak to this Walrein, so you'd think they have some sort of ice answer. Oh, went for a Scorching Sands catch, but did the opponent react in time? Did they notice the Trev came in? They did not. Wow, they just kind of blind through. And going to get off this Seed Bomb. Now, Dragonite might actually live this, but I can see them shielding anyway. No, wow. Nice call by the opponent, realizing they live this. Plus, there's a Walrein waiting for their Dragonite, so it doesn't really make sense to shield it. 1,000,000 energy. And a Jellicent. You need to land 2 Earthquakes. I don't know if you can do it. Gets shielded. That's tough. Maybe if there was a bait. I think the only win con here is like the opponent unnecessarily tries to catch on Diggersby and they give extra farm. Calling the Surf bait is kind of nice. And just going to settle for Icicle Spear. I mean, yeah, this one's over. Don't think you were reaching the Earthquake, obviously, so just go for the move you get to. Tough one there. Dragonite, just a very oppressive lead. If you don't have a great lead against Dragonite, it can be tough to overcome just because it's so oppressive. Next battle. Who's it going to be? Fred Bull. Trev into Clodsire. Pretty neutral matchup here. Claude is running Poison Sting, which means it's going to be able to two-shot this Trev. Might be Poison Sting Sludge Bomb. So they're going to outpace the Trev to 2 moves. They swap for some reason. Don't really know why. If they had stayed in, I think the opponent would have been in a pretty commanding position. But now all of a sudden, this game has flipped on its head. Because now you have your Walrein here against Mandy. You're probably going to come out of this matchup with extra energy. Can do 1 and throw, 1 and throw. Icicle Spear coming through from the Walrus does super effective damage. I like the 1 and throw here to get off a move before Mandibuzz gets off its next move. Icicle Spear knocks out. In comes Medicham. And I like this play from King Swag, realizing he's only going to get to 1 move. Commits to the Earthquake there, which is going to do more damage than the Icicle Spear. Comes in Trev. Opponent catches on Claude. I don't know if that was a catch or if he just decided to throw this anyway. Gonna go for the Shadow Ball here. Interesting. Do you maybe just, like, force them to expend energy? Oh, they let it go. Wow. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. I feel like letting it go, you just lose. I feel like you kind of have to shield there. Respects the dynamic punch. Very smart. And Lickitung going to beat the Medicham. A matchup that usually favors Medi with dynamic punch, but that time Licky was in a spot where Licky was in an advantageous position. Next battle, Matt is the next opponent. Tough lead. Gonna have to dip out of here into Licky maybe. Does one Shadow Claw to get some free energy before eating the Incinerate. In comes Toxapex. This seems tough. I don't think this is really flippable because Toxapex is just so bulky. You need so many body slams here. Oh, they shield. Okay, I don't know what the opponent's doing. Not really necessary to shield, but maybe they're just really worried about keeping switch. The problem is, like, if they brine here, I'll be upset. I'm upset. I'm upset. 50,000 on my head is disrespect. Shout out to Drake. There's no reason to brine, in my opinion, because, like, you Sludge Wave, you can farm down, or you grab a shield. I just don't get the brine there. But Body Slam coming through. Going to chip away at Toxapex. Toxapex comes out with energy for the opponent. But the thing is... Ooh, Denial is not great. The thing is... Oh, Gunk Shot. Wow. Okay, maybe there is some reason then. Maybe there is some reason. Because Gunk Shot is kind of wild. Talon going to chip away at this Walrein. But you got to keep in mind... Oh, they're staying in. And then they're... Oh, and then Trev comes in. So if the opponent shields this... Oh, I think the opponent's done for now. Because now your Trev is going to be able to Shadow Ball their Talonflame. So... It wasn't the easiest game to play for the opponent. But they weren't able to manage their shields and energy in a way to win this. Like, I think you just fully stay in, right? You just fully stay in Talon against Walrein. Maybe farm down if you can. Then you got Trev against Trev. Might have still lost anyway, but nice job dancing around by King Swag. Opponent didn't have a great Lickitung answer, which was problematic for them. Maybe they would have been better served, like throwing a Fly and then swapping into Toxapex. I don't know. Gross Chicken, that's a funny name. Trev into Pharaoh. Positive matchup for Trev. You're going to resist all the charge moves except for steel charge moves like Mirror Shot and Flash Cannon. Let's see. That wasn't enough for Flash Cannon. This is a Power Whip. Okay. Power Whip still chunks. Solid move. Shadow Ball coming through from Trevenant. The tree. That's also a ghost. In comes Jelly. I like the play to not expend the energy on Trev. I wouldn't have minded the Seed Bomb either, but like this is such a hard win matchup for Licky. There's really no reason to expend that energy on Trev. It's probably better served utilizing that energy elsewhere. Surf's up, dude. Coming through from the Jelly. Gonna throw the Power Whip here just before the next Surf is unleashed. Lickitung knocks out the Jelly. Does Ferrothorn come back in? Probably. Ferrothorn does get off a Parting Power Whip here. Parting Power Whip. Hopefully the mic is doing all right with the P's. And Body Slam should be enough to knock out Ferrothorn. It's going to be the back Pokemon against the world here. And it's a Poliwrath. This is a little scary. But as long as this Poliwrath doesn't have, like, Dynamic Punch, I think King Swag is chilling. Because he might get to a fourth Seed Bomb, or like a third Seed Bomb in this matchup. Yeah, I think he gets there. If the Poly had committed to fast moves, let's see if it would have gotten the farm down. It might have. It's awfully close. It's awfully close, but even if it committed to fast moves, let's say it got the counter down, you have all that energy, but assuming you're running like Scald, how much does that energy really do you against... What does that really do for you against the Walrein? Yeah, Poliwrath not going to bother throwing energy. Would need at least like 3 Scalds to knock out the Walrein. And you can only double up on Scald with maximum energy. Battle starting. Wasted Liver. Uh-oh. That's not good. Hopefully they were responsible during New Year's Eve. Trev versus Chargebug. Goes for a potential catch. Doesn't catch, but the opponent decides to throw their move anyway into the Lickitung. X-Scissor is going to chunk away at Licky. Chargebug going to build up some more energy and catch on their own Lickitung. Really nice play by the opponent. The classics, chip the Lickitung swap and then go into your own Lickitung. This way you'll be able to retain switch advantage. The thing here, though, is that energy that the Trev has banked could be problematic for the opponent to deal with. Also, now that Licky has been unveiled from the opponent's side, Trevenant's going to basically get to avoid it. Unless you decide to, like, farm it down or something if you get it low enough here. Another Body Slam coming through. This Lickitung still isn't really in, like, lick down range. Maybe it is now after this Body Slam, though. So let's see what King Swag decides to do here. Throws the Body Slam. Does he dip out? No, he tries to get to another Body Slam. Doesn't quite get there. I think you have to come in Trev, yeah. So, unfortunately, going to have to expend the energy here just because it doesn't want to take too much damage. And then you hope they come in Chargebug, which they do. X-Scissor would hurt here. But because the Volt Switches are resisted, you're not really too threatened by getting Volt Switch down for a while. Kind of have to shield. Chargebug's too healthy. So, first shield comes up. Nice over farm. Going for the Seed Bomb here. Seed Bomb probably just about to knock out. Just about enough to knock out. Grabs a shield. Oh, opponent clever. Doesn't actually throw. Actually goes for the extra. And if they shield, they're going to have a lot of energy for this Walrus. They're going to have a lot of energy. Did they react in time? Did they discharge? Or did they just kind of blind X-Scissor? They just blind X-Scissor. That's tough. Oh, but there's a Carbink anyway. There's a Carbink anyway. So that's going to be a GG's. We saw how much Earthquake did to a Lantern. It's going to do even less to a Carbink. Bop. Barely does like half. And, yeah. King Swag, you got to give him credit. Always plays till the end. He has a Walrein with, like, no energy, one rock throw away from fainting, and still shielded against the Carbink. I love it. I respect it. There's been a couple times I've top lefted too early in games where, like, maybe I still had a win con because I got frustrated. So I'd rather have King Swag's frame of mind of never top lefting no matter what than ever potentially top lefting too early. So it's a good habit to have for him. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. If you did enjoy it, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.